In the book of Genesis, the effect of distortion has remained until today, and so to speak, it has bugs. This book states, when Abram was 99 years old, this is where the distortion began. In Abraham's 99th year, Isaac has not yet been born. But something special happened. Ishmael is 14 years old. He is 13 years old, which will be 14 years old in Ibrahim's 100th birthday. And Isaac was born at that time. This is the word of the Torah itself. If you use a calculator and add and subtract the years that are in these sources, you will find hundreds of bugs. It means someone who has distorted. He was not aware to adjust the rest of the Torah according to the distortion. The first problem is that when Ibrahim was 99 years old, there was still 1 year left until Isaac was born. And Ishmael was 13 years old, and Abraham had gone to see Ishmael and Hagar. The same story of sacrifice that we Muslims also tell. And that sacrifice did not take place. That is, God did not allow that Ishmael would be sacrificed. Instead, he sent a sheep. Now something has happened. God speaks to Abraham. God appeared to Abram and said, I am God, Almighty God, appear in front of me and become perfect. And I will make my covenant with you, and I will make you very much, and I will make you very much. Then Abram turned to him, and God addressed him. But now my covenant is with you. You will be the father of many nations. The religion of your father, Ibrahim. We Muslims also believe that. You will become the father of many nations. And your name shall not be called Abram after this, rather. I will call you Abraham. I added an H. What is this H? This is Hamza's word. Hamza was the symbol of one hand. A hand that has 5 fingers and 14 joints. In Hebrew language, after Alf, Bet, Gimel, and Dalet, it is Ha. Hebrew letters are like this. The letters Abjad, Hawas, Hati, and that we say. It is the same Hebrew letters. Only a few letters from Arabic were added to it. The classification of Arabic letters is as follows. A, B, T, S. Abjad is not in this, or Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dal, He. This is the 5th letter. God says we gave you 5. 5 out of which 14 will be born. What is the story here? The story of the sacrifice of Ishmael and the continuation of the generation is through Ishmael. Because Isaac has not been born yet to talk about him. Isaac was born a year after that incident elsewhere in the Torah. This event has been discussed. It is about Ishmael. But some parts were added by the Jews themselves from section 9 onwards. They say it all at once, but Isaac is also important. They also add Isaac here. Isaac is not born yet. Who are you talking about? They themselves say that Isaac was named Ishaq because his mother laughed. This name comes from the root of Zahaka, Isaac. They pronounce it like this. She laughed. Can an old woman have a baby? She laughed to herself. Ishmael also means Asma'el. God heard Hebrew and Arabic have the same origin. And I will make you very parturient. And I will create nations from you. Kings will arise from you. I will establish my covenant between you and me and the offspring after you, to be an eternal covenant from generation to generation. To be your God, and after you, the God of your descendants and your strange land. This strange place you came to, that is, the land of Canaan, I have given you and after you to your offspring an eternal possession, and I will be their God. Based on these sentences, the Zionists say that Palestine is for us. Who does it belong to? It belongs to Abraham and his descendants. Now the Arabs live in it. It means the descendants of Ishmael. Why are you upset? The promise has been fulfilled. The thing is, you are racist, and you say that only Isaac's children are important, Ishmael's children are not. If you be careful, the plan they have made now, the deal of the century or the West plan is Abraham Accords. They called the agreement Ibrahim. Netanyahu also gave a speech at the United Nations. He said, "We want to create reconciliation between the children of Ishmael and Ishak." You don't consider Hagar's children to be human at all. This is what the Torah says. Note that we deeply differentiate between Zionists and Jews. I have brought videos. You saw anti-Zionist Jews took over Congress. Who are against Israel, they took the American Congress. But the key point here is that these have their roots in Torah distortions. There are some roots here. They emphasize these roots. But the truth is not like this, which they made of themselves and lied. There was a distortion. Because it was God's book, they said, it is original. This is God's book. Suppose we consider the verse of the Quran. We can't skip it. If a Jew admits that his book is distorted, so he accepted that his religion comes from a distorted source. How do you know that the rest of the words of this religion are true? The worst thing is that a religion is distorted. This is why they claim we must take Palestine for ourselves. Let me tell you one more thing among these distortions. It is interesting. When God speaks, it is not necessary to say, "I mean." These are usually the places where the idiot rabbis distorted Torah. They were so dumb. The phrase "I means" remains in the sentences "we," the people who research the holy books. We know that those sentences that have "I mean" are problematic. Why should this phrase be said? For example, "and your strange land." Prophet Ibrahim knew where he was. He knew where he was strange. I want to say these sentences are suspicious. So God said to Abraham, "But you keep my promise until after you, your offspring in their generations." Then, in sections 10 to 19, which are not related to this story, they mention the story of Isaac. Isaac is not born yet. And as for Ishmael, I answered you, "Now I have blessed him, make him parturient, and I will make him have many children, 12 chiefs." This Hebrew word is Nasim. Nasi in Hebrew means Imam, Navi means prophet. The position of these 12 people is higher than a prophet. This issue is equivalent to verse 124 of al-Baqarah of the Quran that says, "I will make you a leader for mankind." God says to Abraham, "You became an imam," as I said many times. Ibrahim, who was a prophet before this event, who was apostle, he was Ulu al-Arazim. He was Khalilullah. Our question is, what position is this? That a prophet does not reach him. And after that great divine test that we know, it is the story of cutting off Ishmael's head and sacrificing Ishmael. God says, "I will make you an imam for mankind." You just became an imam. God says in the Torah, Edonai Nasi. It means the imam of God. But what did they translate Nasi in the translated versions of Torah? Right now in Israel, Nasi means president, he who rules over all. Today they have made its new Hebrew equivalent. The president is called Nashi S, is pronounced Sh. Let's pay attention in that surah of the Quran. God says, "For mankind, not for your own tribe. You became the imam of all." What is the difference between imam and prophet? That the imam has a mission over all mankind. A prophet has a mission to only one nation. Our prophet Muhammad was also an imam. Some of the Muslims do not know his position as an imam.